Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. We are just at the noon hour, so we'll get started here in a minute or two as people continue to join the room. I'll do an introduction of our speaker and then let her take it away here shortly. So about another minute or two, and then we'll get going. All right, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll continue to admit folks as they arrive. My name is Christopher Villarreal. I am the Director of Communications for Papillion La Vista Community Schools, and I am also one of the chairs of our empowerment collective that works primarily on family engagement and education. And so we put on this series of empowerment sessions, and we're really grateful that you've chosen to join us today over your lunch hour. Um, Today's Empowerment Collective webinar is on understanding advanced placement. I'm delighted to introduce our presenter today, that is Dr. Julee Sauer, who serves as the Director of Secondary Curriculum for Papillion La Vista Community Schools. In this role, Dr. Sauer oversees curriculum development and implementation across our middle and high schools, ensuring our students have access to rigorous, engaging learning opportunities that prepare them for their futures. Dr. Sauer brings extensive experience in educational leadership and a deep understanding of how advanced coursework can transform students' academic journeys. She has been instrumental in shaping our district's approach to serving high ability learners and expanding access to challenging curriculum options like advanced placement courses. And today she'll be sharing valuable insights about the AP program, what it is, how it benefits students, and how families can support their children. Whether you're new to AP or looking to deepen your understanding, I am confident that Dr. Sauer's expertise will help you navigate these important educational opportunities. So please welcome me in welcoming Dr. Julee Sauer.
Oh, Dr. Villarreal, thank you so much for that introduction. I think I will encourage everyone to just lower your expectations a little bit. Christopher is just, one of my best fans, so I appreciate that. And at the same time, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But as Christopher mentioned, I've been in the profession for a minute. I am actually my 35th year in education. I started as a high school English teacher, and during that time, I actually got to teach advanced placement, language, and composition. So I bring that perspective to the work that I get to do now. I left the classroom 20 years ago for building and then district level leadership. And so from a building level, I got to support other teachers who are teaching AP. And now as a district leader, I get to direct pieces and parts of our program, and I get to provide support and a guidance to our principals, if you will, for the implementation of those opportunities. I think I also saw Dr. Jen Schneider on this particular webinar. Just want to little shout out to her. Jen Schneider is, wow, an amazing high ability learning facilitator who is always looking for the best fit opportunities for students with high ability learning needs. And certainly our advanced placement programming at the high school can, and I feel strongly should be a part of that. Okay, so today's presentation, I will go through quite a bit of information that's designed to provide all of you with a very big picture understanding of advanced placement. And I'll try to funnel down into the specifics even of Papillion La Vista Community Schools. And at the end, I'll have an opportunity for you to come off mute and ask questions, and or if you're more comfortable dropping those in the chat. Dr. Villarreal has promised that he will indulge the diva, Julee Sauer, and make sure that I see those questions. First, however, I'm going to drop my slide deck into the chat so that you can actually access it if you'd like. So if you just give me a second with that, and then we'll go to a place where I share my screen. Okay. So in the chat is a link to a Google slide deck, and you are all welcome to open that up if you would like. Okay. Into the presentation here. Okay, this next slide, and let me move you all out of the way. From this next slide, you can also access the presentation if dropping it into the chat did not actually work for you. So there's a QR code there that you could use, or there is a bit.ly address that you could use, type into your computer to get to the presentation as well. So I'll just give a couple seconds here with that. If you're using the bit.ly, it is case sensitive. So you have to make sure that you get the capital letters and the lowercase letters in the right places. Okay, so Introduction to Advanced Placement, just what exactly is the Advanced Placement Program? Basically, it is the College Board's rigorous academic program for high school students across the globe. So that is a piece that I want to stress in this particular session. This isn't a Nebraska thing. It's not a regional thing. It's not a national thing. This is a global thing. This particular place in the slide deck will take you into a website of the College Board. So as you might be interested in more information, that is a veritable treasure trove of all that there is, if you will, that surrounds the work of the College Board, and especially in this particular avenue of advanced placement. Basically, the College Board offers, through its course guides, 42 college level classes and exams across multiple disciplines. And I just need to stop here and stress exam. That exam sometimes can sound kind of daunting, especially at first to students starting in an advanced placement class. However, it is the key that can unlock all kinds of opportunities for students as they embark upon their collegiate career. Okay, in Papillion La Vista Community Schools currently, we offer 18 college advanced placement college level classes. And if you click on this link right here, you can get into what comprises our course registration guide for all of our offerings. I'm really proud of the offerings that we do have. We have been able to, over the years, build out a number of offerings in first the core areas, and then also I'm very proud of our fine arts offering, and then we also have a world language offering. So you can get into those. I see some of you on the screen, and you can just you can scroll through that. If your document looks like this, if you just click on the tab and show tabs and outlines document, or excuse me, icon, you can just click there, and then you can pop from discipline to discipline and take a look at what we have. So we have 18 currently. Starting next year, we will have 19 in progress, and I just met with this team on Monday. We will have an advanced placement pre-calculus class. That will also be another fantastic offering for our students. I also need to just talk with a lot of pride at this moment about Papillion La Vista Community Schools, and this particular piece started well before me. Um, in Papillion La Vista, a big Class A district with two big high schools, we have the same offerings at both high schools. And there are lots of school districts around in and around the metro area and around the state that offer advanced placement classes. But many times those offerings are so dependent on a particular teacher, a particular teacher's skill set, all of those kinds of things. And it makes it very difficult to offer in equal amounts in districts that have multiple high schools. Point of pride for PLCS. Students going to South High will receive the same opportunities in the same advanced placement classes as students going to Monarch. Very proud of that. Um, Basically, the advanced placement program provides opportunities for advanced learning, potential college credit, and potential scholarship money. And the classes are designed for they're designed to challenge either high achieving and or highly motivated students. One or both of those characteristics do make for kind of a perfect storm fit for an advanced placement class. Um, just quite honestly, advanced placement might not be for all students. However, research does show that any student who is considering a four-year college experience would benefit greatly from even just one advanced placement class in high school. Back to the College Board. The College Board puts out um, guides for us as school districts to build out what is the curriculum for these classes. And through this link to the College Board, you can get in and see just how rigorous and how in depth those are in terms of what provides for very challenging and yet doable, viable experience for students. Okay, so the College Board has been committed for a number of years to building out advanced placement courses across some pretty broad disciplines. So you can see these, the arts, English, history and social sciences, there's quite a few offerings, math and computer science, the sciences, world languages, and then just recently they have added, and by that I mean within the last decade. I mean, the College Board does not do anything very quickly, and they certainly don't do anything whimsically. So, like within the last decade is pretty speedy for the College Board, which I actually think is a good thing. A lot goes into um, a lot goes into an advanced placement course. So they've also added some AP capstone programs that start with some seminar and some research courses. Okay, College Board recommendations. One of the questions that I'm often asked is, what's appropriate for my child when it comes to advanced placement courses? And this is where I lean into the College Board recommendations because they have done tons of research from the students who are enrolled in the classes and who take the exams and then go on to colleges. Their recommendation is that the ninth grade year, no advanced placement courses. The ninth grade year is considered a transition year. It's a time for students to really become accustomed to the high school experience, and adding a college level class at that level probably is not appropriate. Well, it's not appropriate according to College Board recommendation. But starting the 10th grade year, the College Board does recommend one advanced placement course, especially for students who need a challenge that is beyond what beyond level or even honors level classes can provide. We have a couple of great offerings in Papillion La Vista. We have AP World History, And we have coming online, if you will, I shouldn't say online, it'll be in person, AP Pre-Calculus. Both of those are appropriate for 10th graders. And just a little side note on AP Pre-Calc. I suspect that there's a number of you in the audience whose student might be in 7th or 8th grade in algebra or honors geometry, and they're on the track, if you will, or the pathway toward AP Calculus. AP Pre-Calculus will just literally take the place of honors pre-calculus. We just did a little crosswalk on Monday. Virtually very few changes. Like what we already had in our honors pre-calculus class, so similar to what the College Board has put out in terms of what should be an AP pre-calculus. So if you knew that your student was heading toward honors pre-calculus, AP pre-calculus is the place now for your student. Okay, grade 11, up to 3 AP courses. Research bears out that students really, they can handle that. And then at the 12th grade level, 2 to 3 AP courses, kind of backs off there a little bit because there's so much more that goes into the senior year in terms of rigor, but also in terms of a college preparatory experience. I recommend consulting academic advisors at potential colleges and universities of choice for the personalized course selections. I think that's really important because while AP is widely recognized and widely respected, different collegiate systems and colleges within those systems have different policies on what AP exam score counts for what. So it's just really important to do that research. Again, that exam is the key. The experience of just being, and I use my quote fingers there, just being in an AP class is fantastic. However, the exam is what opens doors for kids. And I just want to add here too, PLCS, I mean, I showed it to you. We have 18 courses. We have a 19th coming on board. There's a lot, there's a lot more that are out there. And we do accommodate students who might be working on that content and want to take the exam. And that is really the only requirement, if you will, for a student to get credit is to take that exam and do well on it. So if we don't have the class that your student is looking for, I've dropped in a couple of places where there's free content. If you or your student would be interested in an exam that we don't have a class for or have an exam for. Bottom line, we would facilitate the taking of that exam at one of our high schools at the appointed date. Okay, financial and policy considerations. There is a fee to take the exam, and the range is about, well, it's actually $98 up to quite a chunk of change. However, that chunk of change is still less than what college credit costs. So that is that's a piece that families want to weigh before making the decision to go AP and take the exams. Many universities offer college credit for scores of 3 or higher. So basically the student takes the exam and it's ACT-esque, meaning they sit for a certain amount of time. There's a certain amount of questions. It's all standardized. There's performance based on all of them. So students will, engage in a variety of formats on these particular tests, meaning they multiple choice, they might need to write, they might need to simulate a lab experience, those kinds of things. So they take the exam and then what comes back is a score from 0 to 5. And again, many universities offers college credit for scores of 3 or higher. I've dropped in there, and you know what? I meant to link that in there. I do have UNOs linked, and I think that I neglected to get UNLs linked, but I will do that, ladies and gentlemen. I will make sure that I get that linked in here. But if you go to that link for UNO, it'll show you what UNO will take for college credit. And yeah, I'll come back and make sure to get that UNL link in into this slide deck. Okay, so the advantages there, potential savings on college tuition and time to get to that degree. I have known students who have entered college with 15 credits already just from taking AP courses and doing well on those exams. Again, it depends on the college or the university. The policies do vary by institution. So UNOs will be similar to UNLs because they're in the same system, but it might not be exactly the same. The benefits are numerous. The I think the greatest benefit is its preparation for college level academic work with our selected and vetted high school teachers. So not only are the teachers the ones that our principals identify as ones who would be really great in terms of teaching advanced placement, but then we go through a process that they are also vetted, if you will, by the College Board. And usually that's a look at credentials, teaching experience, and then we also submit syllabi for courses as well as sample content for courses in order to receive the certification from the College Board. Just taking the class, and I use my quote fingers, will help students to develop critical thinking skills, research abilities, and academic writing. And this next part, I wanted to make sure that I stress. I don't know, in the recent past, if you will, the College Board has taken on some socio-political kind of negative press. And I will share with you, please, do your own research on the College Board. But I speak from their research. I speak from my own experience as a teacher of advanced placement, as a supervisor of teachers teaching advanced placement, and then now as a district leader who gets to guide and support the system of advanced placement. I have never seen anything except a living out of a strict and non-indoctrination and censorship policy. So the College Board in every class is committed to teaching students how to think, not what to think. And then this next bullet is directly from their website. They want to be known for clarity, transparency, unflinching encounters with evidence, open-mindedness, and respect for all. And that in unflinching encounters with evidence from multiple perspectives. Again, that's been my experience, again, from the teacher perspective, supervisor perspective, and now systems leader perspective. Students develop crucial time management and study skills. I mean, when I talk to parents, I say, oh, even simple things like schedule your study time. Schedule your time to rewrite notes because that act of writing helps to commit new information to memory. It really helps to do that in an advanced placement class. Improved college readiness, and I'll get to some research statistics here in just a little bit. And then the program is globally recognized and respected. There are potential competitive advantages in college admissions, programs, and scholarship. The College Board actually calls this the power of one. Just one class, just one AP class in high school can change the trajectory for students. First of all, the research shows that once in college, their outcomes in their classes are better than students who haven't had an AP experience in high school. Then their first year college GPAs are higher than students who haven't had an AP experience before coming to college. And think money here, the on-time graduation rate for students who have taken even just one advanced placement class while in high school is higher than students who haven't. So just some really great benefits there. And again, the College Board refers to that as the power of one. More benefits, enhanced favorability of college applications. This is especially true for students who might be looking at more selective colleges or universities. Just taking, and I'm using my quote fingers here, just taking an advanced placement class demonstrates to college admissions officials a seriousness about education and a willingness to work hard. You can see the stat here, 85% of selective colleges and universities report that an AP experience positively impacts their admissions decisions. That's huge because there are a lot of factors that colleges and universities use when making admissions decisions. So that 85% of them are in agreement on AP, that is pretty huge. And this is also globally. These are not just colleges and universities in the United States of America. The College Board research shows that students who score even a 2 on that exam are prepared for college level work. Their research also indicates that students who score a 3 or higher experience greater academic success and have those higher graduation rates than their non-AP peers. And a vast majority, enter college with a head start. Based on that exam score, they earn college credit before they even step foot in college for only, if you will, the cost of the exam. Some key differences, I feel like I need to throw out some caveats as well. Sometimes there's a misperception or even a myth out there that taking AP is like going to college. Ish. It's the only thing that's like going to college is the content itself of the class. First of all, the instructor's role is very different. Our high school teachers provide significant scaffolding into that rigorous content and daily support for students. College professors expect a lot more independence. There's a difference between knowledge acquisition and creation. High schools, we focus on the former, even in the AP classes. I mean, there is a ton of content that is expected to be acquired in terms of knowledge, if you will, in the AP classes. We start moving kids then toward that creation phase, which is more of what college expects when kids are coming in. Depth of thinking, and this is across those disciplines. Um, High school AP courses and our course program in general skims the surface of that, meaning we give kids a lot of opportunities to dip their toe in a lot of different disciplines. Whereas in college, and especially because of money, kids want to make a decision or families want to make a decision and then dig in deeply so that students can really study what it is that they want. And then study habits, there's a difference here too. The typical high school cramming and memorization is often insufficient for college. So we really work in our AP classes to start scaffolding that into a place where kids are learning more about how to take care of their own retrieval processes of information, learning how to space their own practice, space out their homework, chunk their work so that they can commit that to long-term memory. And then this fancy term interliving, this is a cognitive strategy that really means making connections between and among different content areas. Okay, possible unintended consequences of advanced placement participation. There can be a tendency for everyone involved, including teachers and administrators, and then of course students, to get caught up in what's the exam look like. And of course, we want students to know what the exam looks like and what to expect. What we do want to try to prevent is any formulaic kind of thinking or hyper focus on that because Deeper critical thinking is the goal, much more so than following a formula, if you will, to do well on an exam. Sometimes there's a perception that the boundaries between high school and college are blurred. We try really hard in Papillion La Vista not to do that, meaning our teachers approach the classes as high school classes. These are high school kids. They need scaffold support. They need, they need good instruction instead of just having to go and own their learning the way that is more expected in high school to do, or excuse me, in college to do. So sometimes though that can contribute to student anxiety and burnout if that starts to feel too much like they're on their own. And then in some districts, it's a competitive sport really to take as many courses as possible for class rank. PLCS point of pride. And this was put into place about a decade ago when Dr. John Schwartz was here. We have a Latte recognition system, which, yes, it does award, if you will, advanced placement classes with a higher mark point and honors classes with a higher mark point. But students do not have to chase the number one rank in the class in order to receive or to earn, I should say, the highest level of recognition through their high school career. Okay, key dates, annual exam, they are all administered in May all across the globe. And then there are makeup exams available the following week. There are school registration deadlines, again, across the globe. Typically November of the exam school year. Early planning is crucial. If you already have a student in high school and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about this. If your student is already in an advanced placement class, they should just ask the teacher, or you should ask the teacher. If, however, you're in this session today because you're interested and you kind of want to know how things work, start with our high school counseling department leaders. They are both fantastic and they themselves will be able to give you information, or they'll hook you up with a counselor within the department that really has even more specialized, if you will, knowledge and skill when it comes to advanced placement. So at Monarch, that is Mr. Aaron Reyes, and at South, that's Mr. Kyle Cruz. Okay, choosing the right AP courses. Again, students in PLCS don't have to chase class rank. So they can really choose classes that align with their personal academic interests and strengths. They don't have to take AP classes that they don't necessarily feel like they're going to jive with. Really, it's okay and even better for them to take the classes with their most acute interests. They should consider their future college and career goals. Quite honestly, unless a student is heading toward a STEM path, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, really into that engineering portion, they probably don't need an AP math class. Unless math is of acute interest to them, then that would be very, very appealing to them. We also have different offerings of AP math classes. So for example, even if your student's on the pathway right now that flows through honors pre-calculus, your student could decide, you know what, I really like the idea of advanced placement statistics because I can see myself going into a field where that would be a piece that I would need a lot more of than a field with advanced placement calculus. So those kinds of things, just really thinking through academic interests, college and career goals. Research, research, research. Look for your college of interest policies. Discuss options with the high school counselor. Different colleges and universities do different things, and they get to. There is not a standardization, if you will, in terms of how colleges and universities can handle what advanced placement exam score gets what type of credit. Balance challenge with achievability. AP is not a competition. This really needs to be about what's right for your student and what the right fit is. It should be a choice, not a chore. And you will even see that kind of phrasing on the College Board website. Should be a choice. Okay, achieving success though, it boils down to some, fairly simple, if not cliched, pieces of advice. Strong study habits. Students need to really possess a growth mindset. They need to be able to grit and persevere through hard things and really have some resilience through that. If they don't have that, that's actually okay because advanced placement will help to develop that. Um, that could be really good for a student who has had just a super easy time all the way through school so far. I'm not saying advanced placement is death or anything like that, but it could help to develop some study habits for students who haven't had to have study habits. It's okay. All right, parents, hear me out. It's okay not to earn an A. And I know some of you are like, what? Oh my gosh, it's not okay not to earn an A. It really is. It really is. Again, the College Board research is really clear on this. And I'm using my quote fingers. Just taking the class sends a powerful message about what students are willing and capable of doing. Um, Weighted grades in PLCS help to make the rigor worth the risk. And so this particular link will take you into how that looks in Papillion La Vista Community Schools. Because I don't want you to hear me being flip about not earning A's. I mean, I was big fan of that myself when I was a student, and I certainly appreciated that about my students when I was a teacher, and then of course as I've been a leader in different positions. Utilize additional resources and study materials. There is so much online when it comes to advanced placement and student-friendly resources. This link right here will take you into just some of them, and they're really good. Practice time management. Again, I know it sounds like, oh, is it really this simple? Well, it's simple and yet not. Schedule homework and study time. It really does make a difference. Seek support, ask for help. It's okay to ask, especially your teachers, for help. That's why this program works. That's why it works to offer collegiate content in high schools. It's because it's being taught by our high school teachers. They know kids, they know instruction, and they know this content area. And then last, engage in active learning techniques. And actually a part of every advanced placement class is teaching students how to own their learning, how to get information into their long-term memory, and then how to retrieve it, how to chunk information so that they can learn it in a way that they can commit it to memory. And then quite simply, do not miss class. Every single day in advanced placement, is typically something new, whether it's brand new or something that's being hooked onto a previous piece of information. So just closing thoughts and your student's journey before I open this presentation up for questions. AP Advanced Placement is a pathway of and to academic excellence. Both are true at the same time. AP can open unknown doors of opportunity. So I think about students who have high ability, but maybe they haven't been super motivated. Sometimes they take an advanced placement class and all kinds of things just click. And then this whole new world opens up for them. Students also can learn a lot about themselves in terms of what they really, really like, or maybe what they don't really like in a low risk environment, meaning they're not shelling out a lot of money, if you will, for a college class. And last, advanced placement is a choice. it may not be for every student, and that really is okay. Okay, so now I would invite questions. If and as you have them, I will stop the share here and see what kinds of questions we might have.
Dr. Sauer, thank you for that information. And we did have a couple of questions come in on the chat while you were speaking, so we can start with
Okay,
those too.
yes.
The first one, Teresa asks, can you take AP World History after taking regular World History, or is that only relevant for science classes?
I love this question so much. Can you take AP World after taking regular? Absolutely. And we have that set up so that, one does not prevent a student from taking another. So absolutely. Um, yeah, absolutely is the answer to that.
Can you, just for others that might not have that full context, because she mentioned is that only relevant for science classes, can you explain a little bit about what pathway are we talking about there?
Sure, absolutely. Um, yeah, for our science classes, we have, okay, let me start with AP World. AP World, I don't want to send the message that AP World is easier than other advanced placement classes. The message I want to send is Advanced Placement World History is a great advanced placement entry class for students in high school. So it's great for a sophomore. Okay, advanced placement, biology, chemistry, physics, calculus, some of those. Students really benefit from a prerequisite course that emphasizes certain pieces that help to prepare the student for that class. So having a firm foundation, for example, before a student takes advanced placement biology, even the College Board recommends that students have had biology. Now in Papillion La Vista, we also have a layer of honors level classes. So in Papillion La Vista, if interested in AP biology, chemistry, physics, we would definitely want to have students go through honors biology for that AP bio pathway, honors chemistry for both the AP chemistry and the AP physics pathway. So it's all about what could help a student the most in terms of accessing that advanced placement content.
All right, thank you for that answer
Sure.
and the additional detail. Carrie asks, do students in AP classes take the AP exam as part of the class or is it separate? If separate, what is the benefit of taking the exam and the class?
Sure. Oh, Carrie, this is a great question. And the answer is it's kind of both. What we do in Papillion La Vista is similar to what many school districts and other ones that I have been in as well do. And that is we strongly encourage students to take the exam at the at the end of or toward the end of the advanced placement class. I know when I taught, I used to say to kids, "Oh my gosh, you have put in so much work and you have learned so much and you can do so much. You kind of owe it to yourself to take this exam and see how you do, because then there's there's great things that can happen with that particular score." If so, so it is, but it isn't. So it comes like during, if you will, well, no, right toward the end of our classes in Papillion La Vista. Other school districts, the AP exam actually comes wow, almost 2 months before the classes are concluded. And in terms of grades, our teachers do not, if you will, assign a class grade to based on exam performance. So Carrie, if you were wondering about that, that's not something that we do. But I do know that our teachers, boy, they take those scores to heart, as I did too as a teacher. I mean, I always told my kids, if you don't do well, it's because I haven't taught you well. So I know our teachers have that same kind of mindset. Okay, what is the benefit of taking the exam and the class? The class itself provides the content and the practicing of the skills needed to do well on that AP exam. Now, there are a few students, and I've known just a handful of them, who can actually take AP exams and do well on the exams without having been in the class. And I know it's kind of a mind-blowing concept, but there are a few who can do that. They are few and far between, though. I mean, general rule of thumb is taking the class will help you be ready to do well on that exam.
Thank you, Dr. Sauer. Those are the
So
only questions we have in the chat. So if anybody else has a question, I think
I
Carrie, you just came off mute. You wanted to follow
I
up?
do. I did want to follow up. I'm probably wasn't clear in my question. So I've got kiddos in AP classes, but we're trying to decide if they should take the exam as well. So if they take the class, they still get the college credit. So I'm still having trouble understanding what the benefit is of doing
Oh,
both.
I think I understand your situation, Miss Davis. Okay, sometimes an advanced placement class can also serve as a mechanism for dual enrollment. And
Yes.
Miss Davis, is that your situation?
Yep, it is.
Okay, okay. So here's with that. You're right. If the dual enrollment works out, and that's like a whole nother, Christopher, that's probably a whole nother webinar. But so sometimes AP courses, again, can serve as the mechanism for dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is almost entirely at the discretion of the college or the university. And by that, I mean the department in a college or university. So if we're in relationship with a college or university and they say, and they have to approve everything, like it is possible that they could even say, your AP syllabus isn't what we want. But that's not the situation that Miss Davis is in with her kids and other kids that I think I'm probably talking about in this audience as well. Okay, the dual credit. If your student passes the class, which is it's a college level class taught by our teacher, but the content literally is what the college wants us to teach, then your student earns the dual grade. There's a grade on the high school transcript and there's a grade on the college transcript to that college. Sometimes that credit might transfer to other colleges. For sure, what's solid is that it would be a part of the college record for the dual enrolled school. Okay, so I think Miss Davis, taking the exam then becomes, should I take the exam or not? What the exam could do is provide another avenue if your student decides they don't want to go to the college of the dual enrollment. Then they have the AP exam score that could possibly count for college credit at the college of their choice. If it's not what the college is that is providing the dual enrollment. Okay, I know that was very circuitous, but did that answer your question, Miss Davis?
Yep, she commented in the chat.
Okay, okay, good.
Thank you.
I'll stop sour-splaining. Sometimes that's what it's called here.
And we did take another question in the chat from Shelly. She
Okay.
asks, so am I understanding it correctly that you need to be in honors classes first before taking an AP class?
Not necessarily, not necessarily. No, in fact, not necessarily. It's not a have to. It is a recommendation, but it is not a locked in stone, if you will, prerequisite. So I don't want to send that message. Now, is there a greater likelihood, if you will, of more success in advanced placement if a student has been in the honors level of that class first? Yes, there is. But there are plenty of high schools, even in and around our area and through the state and the country, that don't even have honors classes. And so students will go from an on-level class of biology into AP biology, and they do just fine. So in Papillion La Vista, it's a recommendation. It is not an ironclad, it's not an ironclad prerequisite.
Others with questions, you're welcome to drop them in the chat, or you can unmute and ask them. You know, Julie, I was also a high school ELA teacher, and teacher wait time was always the biggest challenge for me. For non-teachers, teacher wait time is that period of time where you wait after asking a question for your students to respond. And I always had a hard time with that waiting because 30 seconds feels like an eternity when you have an audience silently staring,
Mhm,
waiting to respond.
mhm. As you can imagine, Dr. V, I was exactly the same. Let me fill this silence.
Yeah. I didn't see any additional questions come in through the chat, so thank you all for joining us today. Keep an eye out. We'll be advertising our next empowerment session very soon. The topic for that one is managing holiday stressors, and that will be coming in early to mid-November. So you'll see that advertised soon, and we hope you're able to join us for that. I'll send a follow-up email from this session with a link to the recording, as well as a link to Dr. Sauer's slide deck. So we'll see you around next time.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. V. Thank you, everyone.